Oh man. Oh. Hey, how's it going? Wait, is this not the spa club? Oh, okay, never mind. Adios, bye. Alright, so we are back. Hello everyone. That was my terrible impression of being a BuzzFeed comedian. Yeah, I will never try that again. Welcome back, or welcome to my channel. I'm Eric Williams, if you did not know. Here, I do not do comedy. Yeah, we are not ever doing stand-up again. But yes, I do content on, actually, let me check my notes, is because I'm prepared for this. You know, like for example, if you're in an interview for a job and you need to, you know, have your notes together, these are my notes. So the content that I am trying to get into is thrifting. This is kind of like thrifting. I'm thrifting clothes and then reselling them on. Okay, we haven't gotten to that yet. Thrifting, learning different streams of income, incorporating my hobbies such as traveling to new places and photography. So this video falls in the category of thrifting and different streams of income, and it is Depop. You're back with a how to sell on Depop fast, or how to make money on Depop just in general, a part 2 video. I know a lot of you guys who watched my last video, and I believe that is over here in this card, watched my last video, and honestly so much support and so many questions you guys had, so I had to come back with another video so I can help you guys out. So actually, funny thing enough, after making that video, I was, you know, trying to get into Depop, but really fell off like kind of hard. So I'm back. I need to get back on Depop, and also other reselling apps in general. And also stay tuned for that as well, because I'm going to be getting into a lot more like different types of reselling apps. But yeah, so we are here. Oh my gosh. So we are here with another Depop video. I'm going to be kind of going over some things basically that I missed in the last video. However, if you guys do want to check out things like that are really generic information, I did put that in that last video, and you guys can check the card or just check the description down below. All right, so let's get into it. All right, so let's get right into this video. First, in terms of if you're watching this, make sure you have a Depop account. Like, do not watch this video, just pause right now, make sure to download that app, create your account. Like, you don't even have to do a lot. I think maybe you just have to do your bio, your profile picture, just etc. Maybe follow a few people or not. Do that first, create your account, and also create your PayPal. I spoke about this a lot in the last Depop video that I did, so make sure to watch that. But yes, that is just the first thing to do before getting this video. All right, let's proceed. The next thing, in terms of, I guess, what most users do in terms of when they get on some type of social media app, especially if there's like a posting feature. So I think a good example of this is Instagram, is because Depop has a similar layout to Instagram, with the kind of 3x3 grid system in terms of how you list your items on Depop, and then how you take pictures, for example, on Instagram. So I would say, honestly, to take a lot of inspiration from Depop, from Instagram, from social media in general. So basically aesthetic shopping, kind of like window shopping, but shopping for your type of aesthetic. Because I mean, it's kind of hard to kind of have a brand or aesthetic or a type of vibe that you want to go for, but I feel like that's honestly what you should do in terms of if you want to learn, or if you want to make money like fast on Depop, by making sure you have a certain aesthetic or type of brand that people can vibe with. I mean, it's similar, for example, with YouTubers in terms of the videos they make. So with me, how I told you guys earlier in this video, I want to, you know, make videos on thrifting, different streams of income. I even said like talking about my hobbies, so like traveling or photography, and like a lot of those things, they are kind of within the niche of my aesthetic or things that I like to do in my life based on my personality. But yeah, just do some aesthetic shopping. Like, go on Pinterest and check out some vibes or even wallpapers in terms of how you want to list your items. So for me, you guys can see this white muslin backdrop. Shout out to my friend Naomi for hooking me up in terms of telling me, I guess, what to get in terms of a backdrop, because I have like these, for example, paper backdrops, this yellow one, this like cloud one. I think I got these from like Michael's. both of those colors. And then my white backdrop that I use a few times in my videos, I got that from Amazon, but I don't use it as much. But this one I got from Joann's. I don't know if you guys have this fabric store where you are, depending on where you're watching this, because I actually have had comments from people from the UK, and I'm like, well, I don't know if they have, you know, certain stores out there. In terms of, you know, aesthetic shopping, making sure that you want to have a certain type of brand or look or aesthetic for your Depop, make sure that you guys find some nice things that can basically be in the background of the object that you're selling, or it can like add to your background. So for example, like I could have like this white backdrop and like maybe a plant, and then as like the background, and then the foreground being the item. Maybe for example, I'm selling a camera, or I'm selling this shirt. So yeah, you have to really kind of go based off your aesthetic, and that's how I feel like a lot of people sell fast on Depop, because there's no other way in terms of, I think it's just with engagement. Yeah, so I was on the Depop app recently, and I told you guys I haven't been on Depop basically for a year. And like when you list the item, there's this feature saying rank higher in search. This is so like marketing, SEO, search engine optimization type like strategies, which I didn't even think Depop was like on that level. But hey, it's been a year. They've had to put a few updates and patches into their app, and I'm like, honestly, it's cool. Like if it's gonna, you know, help me to make, you know, for example, a sale like faster, and like you guys to make a sale faster, then I'm with it. So with your aesthetic, in terms of how you list your items based on the keywords and different things that you put on there to help your customer, like with pictures and videos, I say do it. So that's with the aesthetic. Let's move on. All right, so next, taking pictures or videos of your item. If you made your Depop shop similar to a lot of these clothing brands, and you know that these clothing brands are successful, then hey, I say make a video if you feel confident, or even doing a video where you're not maybe wearing the item. Maybe it's like you're selling an object like a camera, and you can't really of course wear that, so maybe you like turn around the camera, do a 360 view or something. Just be creative. Honestly, going back to your aesthetic, just be creative and have fun with your Depop shop, because of course we all want to make money in terms of growing and, you know, getting that check from Depop, or more so PayPal. But yeah, you guys want to make sure to have fun with like Depop, because yeah, have fun. So yeah, with taking pictures, I honestly say a big thing is lighting. Like for example, I told you guys I'm a photographer. In the past videos, I've been just like really like what's the word like giving myself free promo in terms of saying, yeah, I'm a photographer. So yeah, if you guys do want to follow me, it's I'm Eric Photos on Instagram and TikTok. I need to do more TikToks about my photography, but yeah, we'll see about that. Lighting is important, and then also poses in terms of how you want to portray the object, or even if you guys don't want to actually wear the clothes that you're selling. So for example, in the last video I said maybe you're selling clothes of a different gender from yourself, even though clothes do not have gender. So hello. I think honestly you don't even have to pose to your items. You can just maybe set them down or even flat lay them. I know a lot of companies flat lay things, especially jewelry. Like if you have like a necklace or watch, you can always like flat lay things and just go based off your brand and your aesthetic. That's what I'm telling you guys. Aesthetic and your brand is so important in terms of how to make money on Depop and how to sell like basically faster like than ever. For me, I'd say also being consistent, and not just always posting, because of course that can be kind of hard. But yeah, making sure to take those pictures and take great quality pictures will probably entice more people to like your post, interact with it, and then eventually buy it. So now moving on. So you have your pictures saved on whatever device that you take your pictures on of your clothes or of the items that you are selling on Depop. Now it is time to list the items. So you can, for example, take your pictures, also do videos, maybe doing a 360 of the item, the object that you are selling, and those can, I guess, like help the buyer, or it can basically make the buyer feel more comfortable in terms of they have more information based on the item, and especially in the description. You can also add up to 5 hashtags in terms of what the item may be. So maybe like a Calvin Klein item, or maybe Nike, which can, I guess, help people find items on Depop easier and then help you make money faster. Also, there's the info section, basically the location of where you're selling it from. So this is a big thing, is because I got a question recently about this. People were asking, I guess, how to ship like to the UK or how to sell from the UK or something like that. And I think Depop has certain policies in terms of if you want to ship internationally or you don't. Like, for example, I'm from the United States, so I possibly would not want to ship internationally, is because that's kind of expensive. And even, for example, for some of the territories that are part of the United States, like Puerto Rico, or I guess other places, I think Puerto Rico is one of the biggest if in terms of shipping with Depop. I don't know about any other territories, but those can often like come to fees that you do not want to pay. But make sure to look into that if you do like want to like learn more about like how to sell to people maybe in different areas that are different from your own. Yeah, with the info, you can say the condition that it's in, maybe saying that it's in brand new condition, like you never wore it at all, or you got it from the store but never wore it, and fair. And you never want to sell anything on Depop of bad condition, because that just is bad for you. You want to have high ratings on your post, and then putting in the price, and then just ranking your item up. And you can enhance your listing by saying the color, the style. But yeah, that's honestly listing the items. It's pretty simple. That's why I compare Depop a lot to Instagram, is because it's like you're posting a picture on Instagram. So that's why I believe it's so user friendly, and especially in terms of listing the items. So for example, if you have this certain aesthetic brand, if you have this certain workflow in terms of how you want to sell your items or list them in the right way, for example, having that same consistency in each post that you make in terms of the aesthetic, the description, even in terms of the price ranges that you do. Like, for example, you don't want to sell something that's $70 one day and then sell something that's like $9. It's depending, of course, on what the item is. But for example, based on whoever follows you, that's going to be your audience or your potential buyers who may want to buy from your shop. I would say to make sure you're very careful and meticulous in terms of how you are posting your items or listing your items, so that you could, of course, make money the right way and just not have posts that are just on your Depop feed. Because that's the thing with Depop. I don't really like the fact that it's just like a lot of people, they have like post like tons of stuff, and then they have like other items that are sold, and it's like I feel like it's going to be hard, for example, a new buyer to come in and be like, okay, like maybe I want to buy from them, but there's just like too much on their page. It's like too congested compared to, I know with Instagram, people have certain feeds that are really nice, so it's easier for them to, I guess, stalk someone's page and really like get in the information that they needed. Even though stalking is not good, you possibly shouldn't do it. With listing your items, you want to make sure that you are just really just sticking true to you and how you want to, I guess, brand yourself or market yourself in the right way. And I think that's honestly how you will make a sale in your best interest. So yeah, let's move on. All right, so now moving on to selling your items. So I know this is honestly the thing that you guys kind of want to hear in terms of like, okay, how am I gonna actually make money? Like, Eric, you haven't really said like, how am I gonna make money? I can tell you this, I am not a guru in terms of selling money. Like, I did make money, like for example in that last video, but I did lose a lot of money, and I've gotten a lot of comments, for example, on my last Depop video in terms of people saying they lost money as well, and I was like, oof. But I felt your pain. Like, I could definitely sympathize with you, empathize. In terms of selling on Depop, I would honestly say set your prices in something that you would pay for. Okay, let me close this because it's getting distracting. Yeah, set your prices based on what you would pay for, is because if you set them like too high out of a range that you think is outlandish and no one would pay for, then that posting will stay, for example, on your feed for a long time. I'm saying this is because in the listings that I made on my Depop that are still there and they say sold on them, I actually put them at a really like cheaper price, like with no promotion going on, no discount or anything. I put it at a really cheap prices because I just wanted to get rid of those items, and I just like, I have way too many clothes. Like, I thrift like so many clothes, like it is not even funny. So if you guys love thrift videos, thrift hauls, come thrift with me type videos, please comment down below and I will do more, and then I will sell them on Depop or any other reselling app out there, because I need to get rid of clothes, you guys. Try to make prices like that would cater to everyone, but of course make them high enough where you would make a profit on it. Because yeah, you could say, for example, okay, yeah, I want to sell this item for $5.99 and I expect to get, you know, $5.99 back. Of course that's not how it works, is because Depop takes that 10% fee out of from your PayPal sale, from your sale that you make. So for example, let's say you make like 6 and some change because of taxes or because of shipping, so the item may get up to $6, $7, or $8. Of course the tax 10%, so that's $8. Oh wait, hold on. Oop, not me saying $8. Oh my god, that's 80 cents taken from your grand total of what you would get from PayPal. However, if you didn't ship with Depop as well, which I'll get into shipping later, that would also take some fees off. So that's why I'm like, yeah, we have to like really kind of understand in terms of what we want to put our price ranges at, because if we put our price ranges at prices that we wouldn't even pay for ourselves, then why would someone else pay for it? You know what I mean? You want to make it as realistic as possible, or what a shop would basically sell an item for. I mean, there are, for example, some brands out there that are like crazy expensive. I'm not gonna even name a few, but it's just like, yeah, why try to turn into that? Like, for example, we're trying to do well for not only the environment, but just for ourselves in terms of getting rid of unwanted things that we don't need. So yeah, I would say to honestly put the prices low. If you do, for example, put it at a low price and lose money, hey, that's a lesson learned. That's a lesson I learned, and a lesson I guess some other people have learned. Yeah, with selling items, make sure to put it at a price that is reasonable for you as a seller and the person as the buyer. So I would, yeah, take into consideration what other stores do. The whole idea of Depop and all these reselling apps is because I feel like it's a more personable connection when you can buy it from someone that you see and kind of like their aesthetic, their brand, or that they communicate with you well. And if they set a price that is reasonable, that is literally just the golden egg, the golden ticket of how you can sell on Depop. So hey, I may have just cracked the code. Hey, I'm not a computer science major for nothing. So let's move on to shipping, which is going to be a mouthful. So let's get into it. So this is probably what a lot of people also have been waiting for, is the shipping, because actually here in Depop, on their website, shipping is actually underneath the selling section, and that would make sense. Of course, you would want to know how to handle the shipping after you, of course, you make a sale, or even if you purchase an item, you'd kind of like want to know, like, how is this item getting to me? So I guess we can first start with, of course, going back to how you listed your items in terms of basically wanting to sell it. In my last video, I basically arranged the shipping all by myself, is because I thought, since I had worked at Urban Outfitters, I was like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. I did not know what I was doing. I was a noob with that. That's why I made the whole video, because I was embarrassed that I lost money. And I was like, why did PayPal take money from me? But it's all good in the hood. In the last video, I said that you guys should definitely try to ship with Depop. Like, if you know what you're doing, then okay, you can arrange your own shipping, but please try to ship with Depop, is because here it says on their website, shipping through Depop basically does it with USPS, and that's honestly like a weight lifted off your shoulder, is because you don't have to find your local post office, or you don't even have to find someone. Well, USPS would be, for example, your local post office based on where you live, and this is all only mainland USA, so I assuming this excludes the US territories for sure, and then also Hawaii, which is kind of wild. But at least if you shipped with Depop, you wouldn't have to worry about random fees or random deductions from your PayPal account that PayPal is doing themselves, or not even PayPal. I don't think it was the problem, because I actually had spoke with the customer service at PayPal, and they said it wasn't really their fault. Of course they did the deduction, but I think it was the shipping company's fault in terms of that they charged me twice. I spoke about that in the last Depop video, but I was a bit confused myself. But a year later, of course, I had those questions and concerns, but it didn't matter because I wasn't gonna get my money back. I would say, for example, If you do not know what you're doing, if this is your first time, or if you are not confident with the shipping process after you sell an item, make sure to ship with Depop. But if you are a pro at this and you're just watching this video for fun or trying to see who I am, hello, I'm Eric Williams. Arrange your own shipping, do you, and also leave some tips in the comments in terms of arranging your own shipping if you do that, and help a brother out, because I do not know what I'd be doing half of the time. Okay, also this thing on the shipping guide US, it says super important. I just want to read this for you guys because not everyone is equipped with reading, and that's fair. I understand that. So it says super important here: only send the item to the address on the in-app receipt to be protected by PayPal seller protection, and be sure to keep proof of postage in case something goes wrong. And it has two asterisks, which is very important, is because after you sell an item, I remember this process for me, you're gonna get a receipt and it says the in-app receipt. Basically, oh, so that's important to know, the in-app receipt and not just the receipt that you get from email, because it could just be a receipt that's maybe not the actual address, or there could be something wrong with it. So make sure, for example, when you do sell the item, look inside of Depop for the receipt of the transaction that the person had purchased your items, and look for their address. It should be somewhere on their receipt, and make sure to put, basically send it to that address, is because if you send it to some other address or accidentally send it to an address that's to Depop or something like that, there would be a lot of confusion, and it may not be protected under the PayPal seller protection in terms of what they are stating here on their website. And you do not want to lose money or make a mistake that they can't help you with, which is unfortunate, very misfortunate. But yeah, I would make sure to pay close attention to detail right after you sell an item and you're ready to ship, and take your time, honestly. For example, when I was doing it last time, selling the item, it was around May 2020, and I made that video in June. I was very kind of rushed in terms of the process of doing it. I was very nervous, and that's quite understandable if you guys were in the same position, or if you feel like you will be in the same predicament. There's no need to rush to send that item to them fast away. I would make sure to, of course, stay in communication with them, but making sure that you have everything you need, but having something to ship it in. Here, there's this package. Oh, here's this package slip that I got from the dollar store, which is of course $1, and you can use this. It also says that it is water resistant, which is important if you, for example, selling clothes or selling delicate items that you need to put in these little package slips, or even with boxes. I guess they can't really do anything with that. You want to make sure that it's water resistant, because based on whatever the item is, you don't want it to be damaged when you are basically sending it. And then also, I think, protected under the PayPal's seller protection. If an item does get damaged, but everything is, of course, you kept the proof of postage, you had your receipt and all of that, at least, for example, people will be refunded on not on both ends, but it depends on both ends. I'm just gonna make sure to provide this link in the description below, so that you guys can read it, and make sure that you read everything, because this talks about a lot in terms of how do I use ship with Depop, which I recommend, and I will be doing ship with Depop whenever I list any items. And then also who pays for the shipping, either the buyer or as a seller yourself, maybe paying for the shipping. Also, how to find your label, and then also, for example, how much different labels may cost in general, or even just with the size of a package, how much it will cost. So for example, this one right here will possibly be more of a small or a medium type package. It's depending. I know extra small could be really small, a little box, if someone's putting jewelry or little knickknacks in there that they're trying to sell to someone. So someone asked, her name was Beverly Mordillo, hopefully I am pronouncing your last name right, but they asked, of course, can I do a part 2 on how shipping works, printing labels, and how to ship the package out. As I said, Beverly and other people who may have this question, I'm going to be leaving the link to the shipping guide for US. I know there's one for the UK. I do not know if there's any other shipping guides that are not UK or US related, or for example international or territories with the US, or even other international places. So in terms of how shipping works, it's pretty like self-explanatory, that you just basically put the item in whatever you're shipping it in. So it could be a box, it could be this package slip right here, it could be anything that's of course protective and that is allowed by the US Postal Service, by UPS, by any other like postal services that are out there throughout the United States or wherever you may live. Along with the item, you need to make sure to put in the slip with the item in terms of what the purchase was. So it's like, for example, if you were basically buying from any store, let's say example of Zara or Urban Outfitters, whenever they send you an item, they send you basically the receipt of the item or whatever you got. You arrange your own shipping, then basically you'd have to go down to your local post office, or you could purchase a shipping label through other third parties. So for me, I think I purchased it through PayPal, so that's why I got a lot of my money taken away, is because I didn't know it was going to be so expensive, and yeah, I just was unprepared. But if you ship with Depop, I believe the label is just already provided, so you don't have to worry about that extra cost deducted from the sale that you just made. With printing label, you just print the label out. I said in my last video that you should buy printer label paper. I can't remember what the exact word was, but the video is up here, but I'll make sure to include it down below in the description of items that you may need. And I would buy like those, especially if you know that you're going to be listing a lot of items and selling a lot of items. I would buy those. Beverly asked basically how to ship the package out, so it'd be easy. You, after, for example, either the shipping label was paid or you paid for it yourself while arranging your own shipping instead of shipping with Depop. So the different options, after you have your label and it's either on the package or wherever, you can just take it to the postal office and they can send it off. You don't really have to pay for anything because the shipping label is already paid for. Like, that's technically what you're paying for. Yeah, the shipping label, sometimes they ask you in terms of what the size or like how big the package is, so you don't have to worry exactly about that. I think some things you may have to worry about is if you say like an item is for extra small, if you don't want to pay as much and the item's actually large, then they may upcharge you for that later on. I think I did get something similar to that. You don't have to worry about any other costs. You just send it and drop it off, and it should get to wherever it's going in a reasonable time in terms of business days, especially if you're shipping in the United States. I do not know how it is in the UK or other places that Depop does allow people to sell or purchase and ship items, but yeah, in the US it should ship in a reasonable time. So yeah, that is the shipping thing. And honestly, with these methods, you would just repeat. I don't know how dark my camera's getting because it's getting dark here, but if you guys want to see a Q&A about this or just me talking more about Depop, make sure to follow my Instagram at 𝙩𝙤𝙢𝙦. I can do a live on there, or I can do a YouTube live stream if you guys do want to learn more about Depop, or if you guys do not want to see a live and maybe a part 3 about things that I may have missed, is because I got a lot of questions and I want to help you guys as much as possible. In terms of Depop, I want to become successful on Depop, but also there's some other reselling apps that are basically making a name for themselves, or things that already exist. I know there's Poshmark, I know there's a thing called ThreadUp or Shopify. There's different apps out there, and I do want to be a part of those, and even ones that have not surfaced yet. But as of now, I'll be working with Depop in terms of making sure that my shop is up to date. It is pretty cool, following my aesthetic, even though my aesthetic is losing its light, literally, because it's getting dark. But yeah, I want to be as successful on Depop, and I want you guys, of course, to be successful on Depop as well from hearing this video. And if you guys want to check out that other video that I made about Depop, it is of course up there in the card. Thank you guys so much for watching it, especially if you made it to the end. If you have made it to the end, comment down below red emojis, you know, watching me make content about thrifting, streams of incomes, if you guys want to get into that. Also traveling content in the future, maybe even photography as well. Then make sure to hit that big subscribe button, I believe over there. I will see you guys in the next video, and it's Eric signing out here. Peace.